Rule number 7, don't expect money to give you happiness, but it does open doors and gives you opportunity. Money solves money related problems, but it doesn't solve all problems. And it also doesn't necessarily give you freedom as well. Like, I am now at a point that I have been able to achieve financial, time, and location freedom. I can go where I want, do what I want, and buy whatever I want, which wasn't always the case for me when I was earning a lot of money. You have to work to actually have the privilege of location and time freedom, and you have to do that by putting systems and teams in place, and also, like I said, saying no to opportunities, which is what I said earlier. If you always say yes to all of the opportunities that pass across your desk, you're never going to have any time freedom. And location freedom is very much dependent on the business that you work on, which was also another reason for me to remove my focus away from the agency. And I had already done that, but it was this agency that was based in Georgia in Eastern Europe, and I left there to go and leave for Dubai, and that was where things started falling apart. The systems perhaps weren't quite as strong as I had hoped for them to be, or like that I believe they were. And so they actually needed a lot more input from my side, which meant that the agency, like I said, again, the agency that only made me the smallest amount of income out of my acquisition channels, took the most of my time and also tied me down to one specific location. So the agency that earned the smallest amount of money for me restricted my time freedom and location freedom. Again, it was like another reason to add to like the list in like the risk versus reward situation that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, the other thing to note about having money as well is that you get very accustomed to the level of life that you have. It wears off. The novelty does wear off, and it wears off very fast. Kind of something like when you get a new car for 3 months, perhaps for a few months, you continue to enjoy it and really appreciate it. After a certain period of time, it wears off and it becomes the norm. And that's also not a good thing, because it means anything below a very high standard becomes a bad experience for you. I actually heard Dan Bilzerian talk about that before, and yeah, it's something that I've just starting to experience at this point in my life, let's say. So yeah, the novelty does wear off. However, I'll just finish the sentence by saying there is no doubt I would rather be rich than poor. If you have to choose between the two, it's a no-brainer.